My name is Amber Hughes, and I found out my little sister was secretly living in my parents' attic to pay off my credit card debt the day a bailiff asked me if I enjoyed my Dubai trip. I have never been to Dubai. I was barefoot in my hallway, holding a mug of tea and wearing the same pajama bottoms I've had since university, when a man in a high-waist vest and a clipped, professional voice pointed at a piece of paper with my name on it and said, "You ran up £6,800 on this card and haven't paid a penny. We've come to collect goods of equivalent value." Behind him, our elderly neighbour was blatantly pretending to water her hanging basket. My credit score has always been my pride. Direct debits on time. No store cards, no Klarna. I bought my little terrace in Nottingham on a 10% deposit I saved by saying no to every hen weekend in Europe. "Must be a mistake," I said, heartbeat in my throat. "I don't have a card with that bank, Miss Amber Louise Hughes." He asked. "Yes." Date of birth the 14th of March 1994. "Yes." He tapped the address on his clipboard. "Not mine. My parents' address. That's my old house," I said, "where my mum and dad live. I moved out 6 years ago." He looked at the door behind me, at my modest IKEA furniture, at the complete lack of Emirates luggage. "Your sister said you'd say that," he said. "Welcome to Quiet Storm Stories. Family Edition, where the good daughter who's been paying her own way since 18 finds out her little sister has been using her name as a credit shield, then sleeping under their parents' roof to pay it off. If you've ever been the organized one in a family of chaos, this is for you, because this is the story of how loving my sister, bailing her out and ignoring my own boundaries for years turned into her quietly funding my phantom life on a credit card I didn't know existed. I'm 29, a payroll officer for a logistics firm. The irony of this is not lost on me. I'm the one who makes sure 180 truck drivers get their pay on time, their overtime correct, their holiday pay right. I can look at a payslip and tell you if it's a penny off. I grew up in a rented semi in Nottingham with parents who said, "We'll manage a lot," and didn't. My dad bounced between jobs. My mum bounced between overdrafts. I got used to seeing red letters half hidden under pizza menus. I decided very early that my adulthood would not be like that. By 16, I had a Monzo part for everything. By 22, I had an emergency fund. By 24, I had a mortgage in my sole name. My younger sister, Lauren, is 3 years behind me and from a different planet. She's dazzling, blonde, funny, the sort of person who can talk her way into VIP areas and out of late fees just by doing a little laugh and saying, "Oh my God, babe, I completely forgot." She did a beauty course at college, then bounced between salon jobs and influencer ideas. Lash tech, MUA, content creator, nothing stuck. I admire her in some ways. She's fearless. She DM a brand and asks for free clothes. She talk her way to the front of a queue. She can make friends with a houseplant, but she has the financial common sense of a squirrel on Red Bull. When she was 20, she rang me crying because her bank account was £300 overdrawn and her landlord was threatening eviction. I paid it. When she was 22, she signed up for a car on finance that cost more per month than my mortgage because it's only £199. It's fine. When she was 23, she asked if she could temporarily redirect some of her Amazon orders to my house because mum freaks out when she sees how much I'm spending. I said no. "You're so stingy," she snapped. "You've got your own place. You wouldn't even notice a few parcels." That was the first time I realized my boundaries made me the villain. I tried to do the sensible older sister thing, budgeting chats, Monzo parts, talking her through APRs. She would nod, big eyes, and then the next weekend there'd be a boomerang of cocktails in a bar that charges £14 for a drink, YOLO. She'd caption it. I rolled my eyes and paid my council tax. The last proper in-person conversation we had before everything blew up was at our parents' kitchen table. Dad had just come home from a shift at the warehouse. Mum was stirring a pan of spaghetti. Lauren breezed in, smelling of perfume and vape smoke, dropped her Louis Vuitton print, probably fake bag on a chair and said, "Amber, can you co-sign something for me?" I almost choked on my tea. "No," I said automatically. "Absolutely not. You haven't even heard what it is," she pouted. "Does it involve your name not being enough for a lender?" I asked. "Then no," Mum tutted. "Don't be like that," she said. "You know what it's like starting out." Not everyone gets lucky like you. Lucky, that's what they called my double shifts and saying no to holidays. I'm not risking my credit score for anyone, I said. Not even family. Lauren flipped her hair. Fine, she said. I'll figure it out my own way. I always do. I should have paid more attention to that sentence. Back to the bailiff. He stood in my hallway, backed by the full weight of the court system, while my cat wound herself around his high waist. Deputy on my notes says your sister is at the contact address right now, he said. We can seize goods from there if necessary. I don't live there, I said. You can't take my parents' stuff for a card I don't even have, he shrugged. From our point of view, Miss Hughes, he said. Your name? Your DOB. Your sister's word that the card was for you. You might want to speak to her before we escalate. He handed me the paperwork. Account opened 18 months ago. Limit £7,000. Current balance £6,800. Purchases, a string of boutiques, Deliveroo, Ryanair, something called Luxe Voyager Buy. I sat down on the stairs. I'm going over there, I said. He nodded. I'll give you an hour, he said. After that, I have to follow procedure. I drove to my parents in a fog of anger and dread. Mum's car wasn't there. Dad's wasn't there. Lauren's little Fiat 500, the one only £199 a month, was outside. The front door was open. Inside, the house smelled of chips and cheap perfume. Lowe's, I called. We need to talk. No answer from downstairs. Then a muffled thump from above and a hissed, shh. From the loft, I stood under the hatch. Lauren, I said, if you've moved into the attic, now is a good time to confess. Silence. Then the hatch creaked open and her face appeared, upside down, mascara smudged. Oh my God, she said. You weren't meant to find out like this. Like what? I asked. From a man in a van telling me I had a lovely time in Dubai. She winced. You weren't supposed to get the bill, she said. I thought I'd pay it off before you ever knew. I stared at her. You opened a credit card in my name, I said slowly. You maxed it out. And you think as long as you cleared it eventually, that would be fine. She clambered down the ladder, barefoot in leggings and an oversized hoodie. I didn't steal your identity, she protested. I just borrowed your name. It was for your own good. I blinked. In what universe? I asked. She folded her arms. You hate buying anything nice for yourself, she said. You wear the same trainers you had in sixth form. You said you always wanted to see Dubai, but you'd never spend that much. So I thought, I'll put some stuff on a card for you, then pay it off with my tips. It'll build your credit too. My credit did not need building, I said. It needed not being set on fire. She rolled her eyes. It was going to be a surprise, she said. Like, guess what, sis? I paid for our flights and paid the card off. You're welcome. Then, it got away from me, got away from you. I repeated. The balance is basically $7,000. She flapped her hands. I'm working on it. She said, I moved back here. I'm doing evenings at the salon. I'm saving. Mum and Dad said I could stay rent-free if I sorted your mess. I laughed. It came out sharp. My mess, I said. That you created with my details. She pouted. You always bailed me out before, she said. I thought you'd be impressed. Double quotes impressed. By identity fraud. Do Mum and Dad know about the card? I asked. She hesitated. They know I'm paying something or for you, she said. They don't know about Dubai. I rubbed my temples. What about the lender? I asked. Did they not do any checks? She shrugged. I know your NI number, she said. You used to leave your payslips lying around. And I know your old address. It wasn't hard. I felt like throwing up. Lowe's, I said. What you've described is literally fraud. You're being so dramatic, she snapped. I'm trying to fix it. That's why I moved home. I'm not out every weekend anymore. I'm working like a dog. That doesn't cancel the crime, I said. And even if you did somehow manage to pay it off before anyone noticed, you still would have taken that risk with my name without asking. Because you assumed I'd say no. She looked at the car part. You always say no, she muttered. To everything fun. I say no to things that could destroy the only bit of stability in this family, I shot back. Which apparently includes access to my credit. We glared at each other. From above. There was a rustle. I glanced up. A duvet, a ring light, a pile of clothes. She really had moved into the loft. Why the attic? I asked, dazed. Because the spare room's full of Dad's eBay junk, she said. And because the Wi-Fi's better up there. Jealous. It was so absurd I almost laughed again. Instead, I took a breath. There's a bailiff coming, I said. In about 40 minutes. With a court order in my name. He thinks this debt is mine. That means if you don't deal with this properly, it's my credit score, my house, my job on the line. She bit her lip. So, what are you going to do? She asked. Turn me in. The honest answer was, I didn't know. If you've never had to choose between protecting your sibling and protecting your own future, let me tell you, it's a very specific kind of nausea. My whole life. My reflex had been, build the net myself, shove everyone onto it. Then worrying about my own bruises later, standing under that loft hatch, I realized if I kept doing that, none of us would ever learn to build anything different. First, I said, you're going to come downstairs and talk to the bailiff with me. Not hide out there like a raccoon. This is your mess. You stand in it too, she grimaced. Second, we're going to call the card company and report the account as opened without my consent, I went on. You will tell the truth, all of it, and I will back you up. You can explain how you got my details. They will not be impressed, but they might not wreck my file if they know it wasn't me. She paled. They'll call the police, she whispered. Probably, I said. You might get a caution. You might have to do some kind of repayment plan. You definitely won't be getting any more credit for a long time. That's my life over, she said dramatically. No, I said firmly. It's your access to easy money over, which, given your track record, might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. She sat on the top step, mascara starting to run. What if you just? She began. Pay it. You've got savings. Then no one has to know. I'll pay you back, swear. You know I always. No, I said. That's how we got here. Me quietly absorbing the fallout. If I pay this, what's to stop you doing it again? Or Mum doing it? Or anyone thinking Amber will sort it? She stared at me like I'd grown horns. You're actually going to drop me in it, she whispered. I'm going to tell the truth, I said. That you opened an account in my name without my knowledge. I'm also going to tell them you've been breaking your back to pay it off because you realized you'd gone too far. Both can be true. But I'm not lying for you. Her face crumpled. You hate me, she sobbed. I love you, I said. Too much to let you turn into Mum and Dad with better eyebrows. The bailiff was surprisingly kind. I met him at the door, paperwork in hand. My sister opened this account using my details, I said before he could speak. Without my consent. She's here. She's willing to admit it. I've already called the bank and raised a fraud report. I can give you the reference number, he listened. Neutral. Lauren came down the stairs, eyes red, shoulders squared. It was me, she said. I did it. I thought I'd pay it off. I didn't. Don't take her stuff. It wasn't some grand if you must take someone take me gesture. More a slightly sulky admission, but it was the first time I'd heard her own anything. The bailiff sighed. All right, he said. Here's what we'll do. I'll note the dispute and the admission. I can't take goods today with this in question. The creditor will investigate. They may pass it to their fraud team. They may call the police. You both need legal advice. He looked at me. Next time you tell a relative no, he added quietly. Change your passwords too. He left. Neighbours pretended not to stare. I made tea because that's what Brits do when the world tilts. The investigation was long, boring and humiliating. The bank's fraud department interviewed both of us on the phone. Then in person, I provided proof of my own genuine accounts, my addresses, my employment. Lauren provided her text showing she'd talked about paying off Amber's card to friends. In the end, the bank agreed it was a third-party misuse case. They closed the account, wrote off part of the balance as unrecoverable, sent the remainder to their internal debt recovery with Lauren's name on it. Not mine. They marked my credit file as victim of impersonation. They also flagged hers as proven fraud. She cried for days. It's not fair, she wailed. I was trying to help you. You were trying to have a lifestyle you couldn't afford with someone else's blank check, I said. The fact that you intended to eventually square it doesn't change what it was. Mum, once she finally understood, oscillated between fury at her and guilt at me. I should have noticed, she said. All those parcels. All that I'm doing this for Amber. I thought she was just trying to be like you. You can't be like me by borrowing my identity, I said. Right. Dad took it harder than I expected. He sat at the kitchen table one night, hands round a mug. I've done stupid things with money, he said. Got us into messes. But I never dragged you girls into it like that. We were supposed to be the ones screwing up. Not you. You are, I said gently. But this one's on her, he nodded. Slowly. Thank you, he said. For not letting it ruin you. It was the closest thing to be relied on you too heavily I was ever going to get. Lauren got a conditional caution instead of a conviction, partly because she admitted it, partly because she agreed to a financial literacy course and a long, boring repayment plan that will eat a lot of her salon tips for years. She hated it. I'll never get a phone on contract again, she moaned. Then you'll have to live within your means, I said. Welcome to the rest of us. Double quotes. Our relationship changed. For a while. She barely spoke to me unless she needed a lift. Then, slowly, she started asking different questions. Is it true if I save £100 a month, I'll have £1,200 by Christmas? How do you do that Monzo thing? Can you show me how to check my credit report? I made her sit at my dining table, phone in hand, and walk through it herself. Not because I'd forgiven everything overnight, because I'd finally accepted that being the sensible one didn't mean absorbing everyone else's consequences. It meant modeling different choices and then standing back when she said, I can't go Ibiza this year. I've got debt to pay. And her friend rolled her eyes. She didn't flinch. Progress. As for me, I changed my habits too. I put a fraud alert on my credit file with all 3 agencies. I froze access to new credit. I changed my email passwords, my online banking login. My mother's habit of leaving everything on the hall table. I sat down with my parents and had the talk we should have had years ago. No more money in my name, I said. No cards, no loans, no utilities. If you need help reading the small print, I'll help. If you need me to be the small print, I won't. Mum looked hurt. You think we'd do what she did? She said. I think you're tired and scared, and one day a smooth-talking salesman might say, we'll just put your daughter as guarantor, and you'll think it's harmless, I said. Let's save all of us that conversation now. They agreed, reluctantly. But they did. If you're hearing this and your stomach is twisting because there's a Lauren in your life, a sibling, a cousin, a friend, here's what I wish someone had told me before my name ended up on a Dubai trip. They meant well doesn't erase the paperwork. Intentions don't matter to banks and credit bureaus. Names and numbers do. Boundaries given earlier cheaper than bailiffs at the door. Saying no. You can't use my address/card. Details might make you the stingy one now. It might also save you thousands and years of stress later. You can support without underwriting. Offer to sit with them while they call a debt charity. Help them apply for a 0% transfer in their own name. Teach, don't co-sign. If they've already crossed the line. Truth is your only asset. Covering for them might feel like loyalty. It's actually lighting your own credit on fire. You are not cruel for choosing your future over someone else's. Shortcut, you're just the one in the family who has finally realized that being the clever one doesn't mean being the doormat. It means, sometimes, standing in a hallway in your pyjamas, telling a bailiff, no, that Dubai trip wasn't mine. But the line I'm drawing today is, and then backing it up with every phone call and boundary you have. I was in my little kitchen, unpacking oldie bags, when I hit play. And now have the family think you're some kind of snitch. Aunt Denise was saying, thought you should hear it from me before cousin Katie dramatizes it on Facebook. Of course. In our family, money problems were always quietly excused. The only unforgivable sin was breaking the code of silence. I stared at the tea towel in my hands and felt that old familiar tug. The need to fix not just the credit mess, but the narrative as well. For once, ID and single quotes T. Instead, I texted Aunt Denise back. I didn't shop her. I told the truth, so my life didn't go up in flames. If they want the full story, they can ask me directly, then. I put my phone face down and made dinner because part 2 of this whole mess was about learning that I wasn't just the family's unpaid financial advisor. I was also allowed to opt out of being their reputation manager. It took a while for the snitch storyline to reach full dramatic form. First, there were the passive-aggressive comments. Mum. On the phone, it's just, You know, you kids are different now. In my day, if your brother or sister messed up, you sorted it privately. You didn't drag in banks and police and God knows who. Dad, quieter. You did what you had to. But your mum's embarrassed. She keeps thinking what people will say. What people? I asked. The ones who never help when the gas was about to be cut off. The ones who think Klarna is an emergency fund. He snorted despite himself. Still, he said, you know how she is. I did, and I was tired of organizing my life around it. So I made a decision. If anyone in the extended family wanted to hear my side, I'd tell them. Calmly, once. No performances. No convincing. If they preferred the edited version where I was Cruella de Vil and Lauren was a plucky underdog, they could keep it. It's amazing how much lighter your shoulders feel when you stop trying to curate everyone's opinions. Meanwhile, the actual grown-up work of untangling the fraud rolled on. Lauren's repayment started. Every month. £150 left her account to chip away at what was left of the balance the bank wouldn't write off. Some months she made it. Some months she rang me, crying. I can't go out, she wailed. Everyone's going Magaluf, and I'm stuck here paying for things I don't even have anymore. You had them, I reminded her. You had the flights, the clothes, the nights out. You just had them on future Amber's tab. This is that bill coming due. It's not fair you get to have a house and a boring life and I have to be punished. She snapped once. Getting to 29 without a default is not luck, I said. It's 1,000 nights in watching telly instead of cocktails. And saying no when people rolled their eyes, she huffed. But gradually, the bitterness dialed down. She started sending me little updates. Unprompted, paid off £600 so far. Only $3,400 left. Didn't buy new trainers? Put it in the debt part instead. Adulting is disgusting. Client tipped me £50. Put £40 to the card and £10 on nails. Balance, progress. Of a sort, the biggest change, though, wasn't in her bank app. It was in our roles. For as long as I could remember, our dynamic had been, Lauren, chaos. Dress nice. Me. Order, insensible boots. She'd fumble. I'd catch. Now, for the first time, I let her hit the floor a bit. When she texted, can you lend me £100 till payday? I swear I replied, no, but I can help you ring step change. Or we can sit together and go through your budget. Boring, she sent back. So is debt, I wrote. Pick your boring. Sometimes she chose the boring that moved her forward. Sometimes she didn't. Either way, it wasn't my crisis to solve. It felt cruel at first. But every time I wobbled, I thought of that bailiff on my doorstep, my cat wrapping herself round his high waist, and Lauren's face in the loft hatch saying, I thought you'd be impressed. If I'd swallowed that, I'd have been complicit. There was one person whose opinion I did care about more than I wanted to admit. My dad's. Mum was never going to fully see my side. Her lens was defogged by shame and what will people say. Dad, though, he surprised me. One Sunday, I took him for a walk round the estate. While Mum was at church. We looked at the same streets I'd grown up on. Kids with scooters. Old lads washing cars. Out of nowhere, he said. I did what she did. Once. Who? I asked. Though I knew. Your sister, he said. When I was her age. Used my brother's catalogue account without telling him. Bought a load of Christmas presents. Thought I'd pay it back before he noticed. I didn't. He found out when a bloke turned up for the telly. I blinked. I never knew that, I said. Didn't want you to, he said. We pretended we had it together for you kids. Truth is, we were both Laurens before we grew up. Just took us a lot longer than you. He kicked a stone into the gutter. He didn't talk to me for years, he went on. My brother said I'd used him. He was right, it stung. But he was right. Did you ever pay him back? I asked, bit by bit, he said. Not just the money. Trust, like. Turned up when I said I would. Stopped asking for handouts. Stopped hiding things. He looked sideways at me. She get there quicker than I did, he said. Because you didn't let her get away with it. I swallowed. You're not angry. I didn't take the hit quietly. I asked. He shook his head. I'm angry she put you in that position, he said. But if you'd rolled over and paid, she'd have learnt nothing. And we'd all have stayed thinking Amber'll sort it. He managed a crooked smile. Nice to know you're not perfect. Mind, he added. Being the golden child looked exhausting. I laughed, a little choked. It was, I said. I've resigned. At work, this whole saga shifted how I saw my own job. I'd always prided myself on being the payroll queen. Numbers in, numbers out, neat, contained, rational. Now, I saw the messy human bits around it. The driver who asked to change his bank details 3 times in 2 months because of fraud. Turned out his girlfriend kept using his card. The warehouse lad whose wages were getting drained by an attachment of earnings order he didn't want to talk about. An old gambling debt he was ashamed of. Before, I'd have just processed the forms and tutted internally at their chaos. Now, I found myself saying, gently, you know, step changer good with this stuff. Have you checked your credit report? It's okay to ask for help before bailiffs get involved. I didn't become the company counselor. That's not my job, but I stopped seeing financial mess as a moral failing and more as a skill gap. An inherited script. Lauren wasn't selfish from a vacuum. She'd watched her parents juggle and hope and hide. She'd seen me overcompensate by white-knuckling control. She chose the path that looked like fun with no consequences. Because no one had ever sat her down and drawn the map that led off that cliff. I'd screamingly drawn it after she jumped. Too late to prevent the leap. Just in time to help with the landing. A year after the bailiff knocked, my own credit file was fine. The fraud marker remained, but in a good way. Lenders saw that an account had been opened in my name without consent and closed due to impersonation, with no missed payments linked to my banking. I could still get a phone on contract, still remortgage when my fix ended, according to the broker I checked with. That mattered, not just practically, but psychologically. It proved that telling the truth had worked. The system, creaky as it is, had distinguished between perpetrator and target. Lauren's file, meanwhile, was a car crash, defaults, a cipher's marker, limited options. She complained about it constantly. I'll never get a house now, she moaned. I'm doomed to renting forever. Welcome to millennial life, I said dryly. Also, actions, consequences, all that. It's not that I don't get it, she said once, more thoughtful than usual. It's that I thought as long as it was in your name, it wasn't real. Like using the grown-up password on telly, there it was. The root. She'd never fully believed my life was separate from hers. That I wasn't an extension of the parents, with slightly better spreadsheets. Now, she was learning that I was my own person. That names on forms mean something. It was painful. It was necessary. Extended family reactions varied. Cousin Katie posted a vague status about family who forget where they came from as soon as they get a mortgage. Uncle Martin rang my dad to ask, so what did Amber do to upset your Lauren like that? As if I'd stolen her boyfriend. Not my identity. I stuck to my plan. If someone asked me directly, I told them calmly, Lauren opened credit in my name without my consent. That's fraud. I reported it to protect myself. She's taking responsibility and paying it off. We're still sisters. We're both learning. Some looked at me like I was speaking Greek. A few, mostly the ones who'd had their own run-ins with debt collectors, nodded slowly, privately. One older cousin messaged me, wish I'd had your guts when my brother used my name for a catalogue. I'm 45 and still paying it off. You did the right thing. That message sat in my chest like a warm stone. Sometimes being the first one to break a pattern gets you branded the villain. Sometimes it gives the next person permission to say, actually, no. The last time Lauren brought up Dubai, we were on my sofa, watching some terrible dating show. An ad came on for an all-inclusive luxury getaway. She sighed. I still think about the hotel, she said. The pool, the brunch, it was incredible. I just wish that you paid with your own card. I supplied, she smirked. I was going to say, I wish you'd been there, she said. But yeah, that too, same, I said. About the you bit? Not the card, she nudged me with her foot.